Welcome. Gearing up, we've got a 5,000 kilometre round journey coming up in a few weeks, heading to Queensland. So getting the car all ready to go. It's been serviced, had a wheel bearing replaced, the Mighty Triton. Touch wood, it's never let me down at all. It's been really reliable, the Triton. But just making sure I've got everything that I need when I'm out on the road to fix basically anything, obviously without possibly calling a tow truck if I can get away with it. So I thought I would sort of share with everyone what the gear is that I'm using here, just that I'm taking in case something does go wrong. Now we're going to Fraser Island, so I've got a whole heap of recovery gear as well, which I'll go through. But the general day-to-day equipment, let me bring in. Alright, so as you can see here, so I've got a whole heap of ratchet sockets, ratchet spanners from 19mm down to 8. Same with regular spanners. I've also got some bigger ones tucked behind the seat. Good old needle nose pliers, side cutters, regular pliers, some circlips, a couple of shifters, big 3/4 inch socket set. I've also got to get my other sockets. Just a few different screwdrivers, Phillips heads, a hammer. This is for taking off my wheel studs if needed. Breaker bar for socket sets, and a good old-fashioned Jimmy bar. If something does catastrophic go wrong with suspension, I've got to get in there and pull some things apart. Went and got some more duct tape and also some silicone repair tape. If something goes wrong with a heater hose or something along those lines, at least I know I can get to that, wrap it up and possibly get me out of trouble. Some zip ties and some extra wire. I've also got a whole bunch of different sized Allen keys if needed. I don't really have too many things in here that run Allen keys. It's all sort of sockets. Got a few extra spares like Anderson plugs, old grommets out of the suspension if a bush wears out and I've got to change it over. A whole bunch of other cigarette clips, some more bendy circlip pliers, Phillips head, always need a Phillips head, and then a whole bunch of other little bits and pieces, screws, short stubby sockets. Yeah, so pretty much I've sort of been thinking about it all. Probably also the other most important thing is a circuit tester. So I can troubleshoot any 12-volt issues. If I run into any when I'm away, I do actually have to put some batteries in that one. So I will be taking 2 sets of sockets. I'll be taking, like I mentioned, a 3/4 and a 1/2 inch set. So that should cover me for all bits and pieces. I've got all different bits of extensions and things like that. Honestly, I can't think of much else that I would need to take from roadside repairs. I think this should cover pretty much all bases along with the socket sets. So let's jump in and have a look at the recovery gear. Alright, recovery gear. Now, haven't quite finished this off yet, but don't want to pull it out too far. What I've got in here is not sockets, what are they called? Shackles. 2 shackles, snatch strap, winch extension strap. I've got a bottle jack. I've also got a pulley block. Also got a big heavy duty tie down if I did need more length, or something catastrophic happened and I needed something else to get me out of trouble. Also got in here is my tow ball. In case something happens, I need to tow something or someone. It's just handy to have. Because at the moment I've got the other one designed for snatching out. Alright, so as mentioned, I've got my socket set here. Did a review on these a long time ago, but should cover me for everything here that I need. Goes from 8mm all the way back around to 1/4, and I've got some big 3/4 inch drive sockets as well, which I'll be putting in. Also went and bought myself one of these XTM soft shackles, instead of having to use the U-bolts if I do need, the shackles, if I do need to do any snatching. Now these are from my chainsawing if I do need them. Tent pegs in here. First aid kit. I've got 2 of these, one in here, one in the car. Alright, now first aid kits, like I mentioned, I've got 2 of these in the car. One in here, one inside the cab. Really important, you can get these anywhere. They normally will cover you for most things, like I said, but it's always worth buying a couple of extra packages such as heavy duty bandages and what do you want to call them, band-aids. God, struggling today, band-aids and so on, any betadine, things like that, just to cover you across all combinations. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, I think, especially with travelling with little kids and things like that. You run into stings, bites, cuts and abrasions all the time, so especially with my kids. So just having something that's going to be able to quickly get into and look after them is a lifesaver. So you probably want to see it all tucked in. I've added my 12 volt light, put that there, put the big socket set in here. Big socket set in, portable 12 volt, 18 volt light, breaker bar, charger, stuff that I'll need quickly. Put it all in there. So that's pretty much everything I think I'm going to need from an equipment perspective. Also, I also do have big heavy duty 12 volt air pump, and because we're going to Fraser Island, I wanted a shovel. Check out this bad boy. It's going to make life a little bit easier than having to dig by hand. Also have got some XTM, borrowed these off the brother-in-law, thank you very much. So if I do get stuck out in the sand, I'll be able to hopefully dig myself out with those. But that's pretty much it from an equipment perspective. It's not a huge amount, but I think it's fairly substantial and should get me out of trouble in any situation that I run into. As I mentioned, it's about a 5,000 kilometre round trip from here up to Fraser. We're having a good holiday, so we're doing a fair bit of driving around. Like I said, I got the car serviced, replaced all oils, filters, had to replace the front right wheel bearing, a couple of other little bits and pieces, nothing serious. Like I mentioned, touch wood, nothing's happened to this car. It's got its winch, bull bars, it's got the driving lights, it's got the light bar as well, the steady light bar, which is amazing. I've also got a Long Ranger tank in this, which is 125 litres, so it'll be filling up before I get onto the island. And this thing's fairly economical. It runs between 11 and 15 at the worst case. So obviously sand, I've never driven on the sand before, so not really sure what the fuel economy will be like, but I should have plenty of extra fuel. I'm not taking any extra jerry cans, and if I do need to top up on the island, there is obviously there's some petrol stations, but I should have easy coverage to do 500 or 600 k's, even in worst case scenario if I'm chewing the juice. That's pretty much it from an equipment, life-saving recovery gear that we're taking. If you've got any questions, yell out, let me know. But hope you have a good one, and thanks again for watching. Cheers.